All right, here we are today. Going to shave the front door handle. I got a couple little tricks. What I have found when you're shaving door handles, especially on this older body style, the Silverado was the same way that we did. You get a little bit of warping right here on this body line, which is really kind of a bad thing to have, because you know when you have to put lead and mud on a body line, it's really tough. So what I did, I actually took some wood. I don't know if you can see it up on this. I'll show you. But I took some wood and kind of propped it against here so that when I weld this plate on, it doesn't allow for it to contract, because that's what happens when the metal gets hot. It starts to shrink, and when it shrinks, then you get this bow in there. Now this whole panel right here is all good on this side, but right here we got a little bit of a bow in there, so I had to kind of hammer and dolly it back out. It's all good now, but I'm trying to alleviate that it doesn't do it this way on this one. So I built this little plate. Let me show you here. I got a little circular ring that's going to go right here, and then I put a little black mark on it, and I'm going to just line that up, and then I'll tack that into place, and I'm building this one right here. So I'm going to take you over here to the grinder, and I'm going to show you how we grind it down and get it ready. What I have right now is I just basically cut it with the cutoff wheel with a metal blade. I just cut that off, and I'm going to take it over here to the vise, and I'm going to mount my grinder inside the vise, and I'm going to show you how to trim this down. If you just try to hit this with the grinder and holding the grinder in your hand, what ends up happening is it bounces, and so then you bend the metal. So I'm going to take it over here. I'm going to show you on the vise what we're going to do. Okay, so this is what I did. I just mounted my grinder in my vise, and then I'm just going to take, I've got some lines on here, if you can see the lines, and I'm just going to trim it to where it's, you know, close enough to fitting. Now, I like to do it this way specifically so that I make sure that it's an exact fit. It's 4th of July, so there's a lot of people lighting off fireworks. It'll be kind of noisy. But what I really like to do is make sure that it's exactly form-fitted as best possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do another clip here where I'm just kind of grinding this off so you can see the process. And it does kick a lot of sparks out. But that's what I found is the best way. And I just grabbed some regular sheet metal, 16-gauge sheet metal, cut this out, and then I'll just grind it to fit. So we'll take you over here on a fast-forward clip, and I'll show you how to do this next. Alright, now this is my first test fit, and I know it's going to be too big, but I'm just going to put a little bend in it just because this panel has a little bit of a warp to it, a little bit of a convex cave there. So that's my first fit, and you can still see my black, so I need to kind of go over it and trim it. When it's all done and complete, it should look like this little doohickey here that I've already built. I'll probably spend about 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, you know, trimming it to make sure that it's an exact fit. But when it's done, it should look, you know, similar to, trying to get this lined up, to what that looks like. So it's a perfect custom fit, flat, a little bit of convex in there, but that's what you want so that when you fill it with lead, it's not sticking out too high. So we'll go back over the vise and do some more grinding. Alright, so here's my second fit. Just kind of put it in place. I've got a little bit of a bend in it, so what I'm going to do is just set it up here. I've still got a lot of trimming to do. I've got probably a good 1/4 of an inch all the way around it, and I built it that way specifically so I can get it to sit right inside this inside of this handle. So I'm going to go back over to the grinder again for the 4th time, and I'll probably do this 7 or 8 times before this piece is done. So I'll just kind of do that, and I'll bring it back when it's complete, but at least you get kind of the concept. When you get into a position and you're close and you need to trim it, just hit it with a little black Sharpie marker, and that way when you're on the grinder you can see your actual spot there that you need to grind off. So anyway, I'm going to go back over the grinder and trim this up, and then I'll come back when it's all done. Okay, now we got these plates all made, and what I did is I just did a little black magic marker to know which end was up, and then these are all made and custom filled and everything that we need. So what I'm going to show you a couple little tricks. I put a 2x4 in here along with a 4x4 here, and so that I can pry on it and kind of help pushes out the panel. Reason being is when we go to do the welding, we want some pressure right here because this is going to be the softest spot. This over here doesn't warp, but what happens is this right here will kind of dip in and out if you don't find some way to support it. So this is actually the first time I've tried to do this, but we'll see if it kind of helps from some of the warping. If you look right here, we've got, it's perfectly square, like right where it needs to be, all the way down. So we want to try to keep that square. Right now it's a little high. You can see that. It's because I got pressure behind there. And so we're going to try to tack this into place. And the first thing we're going to start with is we're going to hit right here where the black mark is. And then we're going to go to this spot, this spot, this spot, and over here. And the reason we're going to do that back and forth is we want to do that to try to keep the heat down. I just got this taped in here. So both of these, you can use magnets too, but I like to use tape. Then that way I can make sure it's even all the way around. So we're going to set you on the tripod here, and I'm going to tack this into place. All right, now what I did is I just tacked it in. You know, I went back and forth like I showed you. And all I'm going to do is do this all the way around until everything connects. So just make sure that you rotate back and forth. And putting this wood in here actually helped it a lot. It didn't warp at all. So if that's something that you guys are interested in trying to do, this one when I welded it, it warped a little bit. I had to hammer it out. This one's perfect, man. I'm so glad that I decided to put that wood in there. So I'll maybe include another video and show you how to set that up. But this worked really, really well. I'm just going to go ahead and tack this all around. Today's 4th of July, so we have a lot of people out here lighting off fireworks, and it's really busy. So, but anyway, we'll finish this up, grind it down, and this will be it for today's video. All right, here it is. Got it all shaved. It's about nice. There's no bowing in this. We do have a little bit of bowing in this, but I guess that's just kind of normal. I mean, we tried as hard as we could to not warp them. Now, the nice thing is from here out, there's no warping whatsoever in either one of these. We got a little bit of work here on the body line, a little bit of work here, but after we lead this up, we'll have to rebuild this body line a little. But just kind of plan for, you know, a little bit of time. You can see kind of the indentations there. But this is, I wanted this specifically lower, so that we'd have something to build, because if it's high, then you have a lot more problems. But there you go. That's how you shave door handles. Now from here, we're gonna still finish stitching this all the way up, but I just wanted to kind of close these videos just to show you how to do it. But I'll continue stitching these all up until all these match, until they all connect back to each other. And then from there, we'll go over the top with the lead, and we'll lead fill them, and then we'll fiberglass over that, and those will be on some other videos. But we're gonna leave it just like this for a little while. Our next step's going to be working back on these tail lights, and then also this filler plate right here. We got to get this hinge made for this suicide door, and then we're going to fill this in, and then we'll work on those back plates. So that's really all there is to it. This is what we did for today. We worked on these shaving these door handles. Today is the 4th of July, so my kids are anyway, my kids want to go light off some fireworks, but it's still a little light out, so we're going to go kick it with the neighbors and do a little barbecue, and then we'll catch you guys on the next video. I think the next one I'm going to do, we're going to do the driver door, and then from there we're going to do the gas door, but I have to remove the gas tank to do that. And then videos will kind of slow down for a little bit after that, though. So I just want to let you know. I'll talk to you in a bit. Bye.